Good morning. It is just 5 minutes before the market opens at 2:30 p.m. here in the UK, or 9:30 Eastern time. Just going to go over the levels. Very straightforward today. Pretty much the same levels we were watching Thursday and Friday, probably even Wednesday last week. You can see them clearly marked up on my chart as well. So we're watching for the break and retest of 47.88.25. That's the area I'm watching for. We could see a high risk rejection to complete this channel which we're kind of creating, but if we were to put some lines together, we can see something of significance starting to show, and that is this wedge pattern. And so we're narrowing in quite slowly here in the middle, and we're either going to break outwards or we're going to break downwards. These are the two directions we're going to be watching for. We're in an uptrend, so it's more likely to see the upward break. So let's just draw that in. So we've got reference, and look how it nicely lines up. Put that one in as well. So that's our channel we're watching for the break, and we're in the upper half of this. Usually that's a bullish sign as well. Especially an area of accumulation, volume spikes on the big moves down, and big volume spike there as well, and looking for a break and retest of that area. That's kind of what I'm watching for. I did say 47.88.25, but maybe a higher risk break and retest of that wedge channel, this area here. So that's an area I'm watching for, and that's my favourite watch for the day. I will also consider a rejection, but it's a high risk rejection up here. Probably 47.72, 47.92 area for the reject is what I'll be watching for. This area here, but that'd be a high risk, and I'll be looking for confirmation. I'll be looking for something which I've not seen for a while at that area. A top in tail and a body, and be looking for the break of that setup there, that break of that count of the bottom of the body. And I think that's it really. If we see a major push up, that's wait for the break and retest, and I really want to wait for it to come back to confirm, and rather than have a breakout and a fake out, and then that's where the tail could come from. So hence wait for that position. We could watch for the rejection at 48.07.75. I think that's all-time highs. Let's just double check. I'm 99% sure it is. Yeah, the top of that. So all-time highs, we've got our eyes on today. Eyes on the highs. I like that. So we've got our eyes on the highs today. And we can easily get there, quite easy. And that's unfinished business as well, so potentially we could see a rejection. So I'm watching for 48.07, 48.07, 48.08 for a rejection back down. We should see a significant volatility around that area as well, purely because it's all-time highs, and we've broken all-time highs I think on Qs, possibly. I'll have a look in a second, and we've got no reference above, so we could wait for the break and retest of this area as well if we see if we're watching for a long. And that's it. If we see a big sell-off, then the only levels I can see is Friday's lows, and we've got Thursday's lows, and we've got this 47.25 area. I think that goes back to either all-time highs or July's highs. I think it's an area, from memory, it's an area of confluence, and so that's an area to watch for. And also we've got this area down here to watch for a bounce as well. So to quickly sum up, the market's about to open in, right, it's actually open right now. Watching for a break and retest of this area. That's my favourite setup for today, and potentially a breakdown of this area short. And obviously we're in an uptrend still, but very extended, but we have rested for a couple of days. Whether that's enough rest, I don't know. So let's just go to the daily quickly. Look at that, very extended. There's only a very few red candles in this since November. We're quite far away from the 200, the 50, the 20 and the 8. Put in a bit of indecision up here as well, and you can clearly see what we just talked about, this wedge bull flag setting up as well. So all-time highs could be a target if we're going to go long today. I think that's it. Okay, have a quick look at SPY, see where we are with that. Look at that, trailing the hourly, trailing the 50. In fact, one thing I did notice on here, where were we? Go back to the hourly. Okay, we're breaking that wedge pattern now, or we're touching the wedge pattern. We did look like we were holding the 50, and it broke down, retested it in the on Friday, and today in the post market and the pre market, I thought we might have just rejected down, but we haven't. We've broken through the 50, and we're strong above it now. So SPY is very similar setup. Got this wedge formation again. Probably not quite. Nah, I don't really like it. It's not as defined as MES. So basically, if we break down and close on the hourly below the 50 moving average, we can probably be looking for a bit of a short play. But we've got to get below that area. Yeah, the only place is all-time. Was that all-time highs? Let's go back to the weekly. And I'll get straight in. No, we've got way off an all-time high, so that's a target and a potential rejection area. We're right now at an area of confidence where we've got tops of candles and bottoms of candles, so potentially that's an area of high congested volume. Doesn't look so much here, but we could see a rejection on that area. It's going to be very brief. I'm not going to go into too many levels because it's live now in the market. I want to do my trade plan and Qs. We recognise that pattern from MES. So we've got this wedge pattern setting up. Oh, the magnet on. So could be watching like this area here. We haven't broken any of that area yet. So if we want to just take the bodies of candles instead. Yeah, it's about the same. Okay, so coming into a rejection area 405.56. Area of confidence there. Bottoms of those candles, tops of those candles. We rejected it on post market Friday. And we're coming into that area now. So the only place I like is a break and retest of this area long to all-time highs, or a bounce off of this area. So it's at tops of these candles, but it's off the bottoms, and it's a pivot as well. So that's 400, and it's a round number. So I think Qs wait for 400, and then NQs. NQs, that's broken all-time highs, and it's then very, very extended. I can't see any plays on this unless we come back down into this area. Was supply, now it's demand, but probably this is the area to wait for a pullback. And we want to see it come back down for a potential bounce. On the weekly, let's go into the hourly. Yes, I think maybe the rejection up here, 16.886. Just put that level in. Potentially we could watch for a reject around that area there, but more likely with the trend break and retest. But it's still risky because of how extended everything is at the moment. I can't really find a long or a short. Oil. Oh, look at that. Came right down to the zone, was watching, didn't quite get to our entry, was waiting for that alert to be triggered. 67.20, but it's right there. Pretty much there. We were just a little bit too finicky on our entry, but that's fine. That's doing okay now. So it's broken this area. Remember we talked about if it breaks and retest, you could find the entries at that one. So that's one to keep an eye on. A bit annoying, but in fact, one thing I do see is potential. Yeah, it's probably gone left shoulder, head, a rough right shoulder with a neckline there. And gold, I wasn't around much last week, so I wasn't paying much attention. And gold can't quite break over this area here. If we can break 2039, 2040 area, we could look for a break and retest long, or we could be looking for the bounce off the 200, or that this putting in a higher low as well there. Low, higher high. We're waiting for a new higher high to confirm that trend. But that's it. I'm going to be watching the market now. Let's go back into MES. Let's look at the 5, see if there's any entries. We're right here at the moment, right at the trend line, and it's rejecting it. So that was Friday's data candle, and we're right at the top of the data candle. It's funny how all these things are line up. So we've got the 8:30 data candle from Friday here. We've got up at the fibs in, the 0, the 1, the 50% and the 0% area. And you can see we kind of, the 50% was in play. You could say that maybe we got close to it there. And we rejected the 1, the tops of that fib. So what I'm waiting for now is for a break and retest of that pivot. I really want to see a bit of daylight, but then we've got a little bit of resistance up here, not a great deal. So this area 47.88. So that's an area, if we miss this entry, we can wait for that entry, 2 entries. Okay, that's it. Have a good day trading, trade safe, and see you tomorrow.